Don Wells, his wife Diane Cox, and their adopted daughter Belén Gomez love spending time together. Things can get a little competitive, but the bond between these players is unmistakable. But Belén didn't have the best start in life. At the age of 1, her biological mother gave her to relatives to raise, and she spent the rest of her childhood in and out of foster care. In 2011, when Belén was struggling to adjust to university life, she reached out to Just in Time for Foster Youth, which is run by Don and Diane, for some much-needed support. Living in so many different homes as a child has left a lasting impression on her.
I think I'm somewhat of a perfectionist. I don't like making mistakes because I feel like I'm going to get judged. I don't like causing too much attention just because I feel like if I'm as minimal as possible, then I'll be able to fit in anywhere.
Diane helped launch the nonprofit, which supports 18 to 26-year-olds transitioning from foster care into adulthood, in 2003. After years of instability, Diane wanted Belén to take charge of her life, so she taught her how to drive.
I just felt really strongly that I wanted Belén to have the independence that every woman, I think, should have so that she can make her own choices. We would go to Starbucks and have like a Frappuccino. That was like our reward after we would go out and practice driving.
Each state is different, but California allows young people to remain in foster care up to age 21. After that, though, they're on their own, which is why Don and Diane decided to take things a step further with Belén by adopting her in her 30s.
When you're in foster care, and she was in a number of different placements, the whole thing is if you make a mistake, you're out. And so having the burden of that is really difficult. So my whole thing was to try to make sure that she felt that I was going to be around no matter what.
While Belén's story is somewhat unique, Just in Time prides itself on being a family to the young people it supports. It connects youth with mental health services and even helps them with things like buying furniture and preparing for job interviews. Across town at the Just in Time HQ, I meet Nathaniel Martinez, who spent his childhood in a chaotic and toxic environment. He recalls the night he was taken into foster care.
I remember being up and watching a movie with my family when there was a knock at the door. And I remember my mother getting up and answering the door, and there were sheriff's deputies and 2 social workers there with her.
Despite all the challenges he faced, Nathaniel went to graduate school and now teaches young foster care adults how to manage their money and become financially literate. Many of the staff at Just in Time aged out of the foster care system themselves, like Samantha Harner. After years of suffering from low self-esteem, Samantha now helps others access things like therapy.
To be able to come in and just be like, I'm just having a horrible day, and for somebody to look at you and be like, I get it. And that's all that needs to be said. That's, and then you just have this person who completely understands what you're going through, and they're there to comfort you.
Just in Time has supported thousands of young foster care adults since it launched 20 years ago. It now hopes to help other states set up similar programs. Back at the apartment, and the game of cards has wrapped up. Belén won. She's forever grateful for the love, support, and dedication of Don, Diane, and the Just in Time team.
I'm amazed at how much they give to everyone, and I learn from them every day. I think it's amazing. I think they're amazing people.
Claire Strong, KPBS News.